Begin the session by moving into a gentle dynamic activation phase for the hips, knees, and ankles. This part is crucial to prepare the joints, lubricate the cartilage, stimulate the nervous system, and get ready for heavier work. For Sinner, whose game demands rapid changes of direction, explosive lower body power, and sustained match endurance, the warm-up sets the tone for safe and effective training. Then gradually shift into movement patterns that load all major lower body segments: the glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, adductors, calves, and of course the supporting muscles around the joints. The goal is not just brute strength, but controlled strength that allows him to change direction, accelerate, decelerate, and maintain balance under fatigue. In the main portion, the training emphasizes multiplanar joint loading, so that the hips, knees, and ankles are challenged not only in straight up and down modes, but also in lateral, rotational, and stabilizing roles. Sinner's style of play, with deep court coverage, quick steps both forward and backward, and high demands on the legs, requires that his lower body joints be robust. He builds this robustness through exercises that load eccentric, isometric, and concentric phases, forcing the musculature around the joints to respond and adapt. He also uses tools and equipment targeted to mobilize and strengthen the spine-to-feet chain, meaning the legs don't. After the warm-up, the heavy load phase begins. You'll incorporate a loaded hinge pattern, emphasizing the posterior chain, hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. This is important because Sinner's game involves powerful drives, extension from the legs, and the ability to stabilize while hitting and recovering. Eccentric control in the hinge helps protect the knees and hips by teaching the muscles to decelerate movement rather than purely accelerate. Next, you transition to an exercise that drives knee flexion and extension under load, replicating what happens when Sinner pushes off for a serve or lunges for a wide ball. Here, the knee joint must be strong, stable, and able to handle high forces. Then add a unilateral movement, single leg loading, so the hips, knees, and ankles have to stabilize individually, just as they do when Sinner shifts weight rapidly from one leg to another during court movement. That unilateral leg strength helps with balance and change of direction resilience. Following that, you embed a lateral or diagonal movement to stress the lower body joints in ways that are less typical of traditional straight-ahead lifts, but very much embedded in tennis movement. In doing so, you enhance hip abductor-adductor strength, hip internal-external rotation capacity, knee tracking, and ankle joint stability. For Sinner, who often opens his stance, moves laterally, and recovers quickly, this makes a big difference. Finally, you incorporate a calf complex or ankle-dominant exercise that ensures the foot-to-ground interface is robust. The ankle joint must be stable and reactive so that Sinner can push off, absorb load, and change direction without injury. At the end of the session, you move into a joint mobility and activation cooldown. This isn't a fluff finish, it's instrumental. Sinner's training repeatedly emphasizes that preparation, recovery, and movement quality are as important as maximal load. His mobility routines contribute to joint health, help flush metabolites out of the system, and maintain the elasticity of his legs and hips so that he can move freely and efficiently throughout the long points and grueling tournaments. In isolation, but as part of a kinetic chain that begins with the core and hips. This entire leg day protocol has multiple underlying reasons tied to Sinner's game and physical demands. His tennis style is defined by baseline power, rapid footwork, deep court coverage, and the ability to finish points behind his shots, rather than simply rely on serve and volley. Therefore, his legs must deliver not just strength, but speed, endurance, coordination, and joint resilience. The warm-up primes his nervous and musculoskeletal systems. The compound lifts develop raw leg and hip power, necessary for generating force in his strokes and for pushing into the court. The unilateral and lateral drills build stability, so his joints can absorb eccentric loads and then produce explosive concentric responses during lateral moves or when shifting weight quickly. The mobility and joint-specific work ensure his hip, knee, and ankle joints can operate smoothly through multiple planes, minimizing injury risk and permitting optimal biomechanics during play. From a performance perspective, hitting high-level tennis requires repeated deceleration and acceleration, often from low positions, with the legs as the primary engine. Sinner's legs must handle constant change of direction, maintain stability on unstable surfaces, and recover between rallies, sets, and days. The training for the lower body joints, therefore, isn't just about getting stronger. It's about becoming stronger in the right ways, at the right angles, and in a way that supports his sport-specific demands. As one source said, Sinner's gym routine emphasizes building powerful legs and a stable core, essential for producing his signature forehand and backhand strokes.